really wasn't into farming because I was in a really glamorous industry, which is the gaming industry. And so I was in the casino business for over 11 years. But that day I decided that, you know what, I really think that I can do this. I had a good background, my grandparents, it's a third generation farmer. However, our dream was so big. We wanted to, just grow as much produce as we can and deliver it to food stores and hotels and restaurants all over the island. However, in the first 2 years, that wasn't possible. We were dreaming. However, we never gave up on our dream. Fast forward almost 5 years now, we do deliver our products to food stores, hotels, restaurants, homes, yachts, schools, wherever. And of course, we have added services such as the backyard gardening services. Within the first 2 years, our clients were saying to us, well, do y'all put in gardens? Do you do farms? And I thought, well, if we know how to grow vegetables, then surely we can, we can do it. And persons started to book us for these types of services. However, we like to share information in segments like this one. And so today I'll be talking to you guys about being able to grow your own food. Can I please see a show of hands? And if I'm talking too fast, just ask me to slow down. I speak rather quickly. Can I see a show of hands of persons who have their own garden currently?
Who has their own garden?
Okay, what do you call a semi-garden? Not like growing like one thing and this is a semi-garden. I need to have at least 5 things grown in that garden.
Oh, I just started onion and my golden tree.
Listen, y'all give a round of applause at least. Anyone else? What do you have in your garden?
Kale, onions, cabbage, potato.
Okay, good. Well, listen, after today, I'm sure you guys are going to leave your very own tools to get started with your very own gardens. I must talk to you about the importance of eating local and seasonality, which is very important. One of the things we realized immediately when we started the business was helping Bikinians understand seasonality. That though you can go to the store and find strawberries year-round, we cannot grow strawberries year-round. Though you can go to the store and find broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, all of that stuff year-round, because it comes from so many other countries, we cannot grow that food here year-round. So seasonality was a big conversation. So when we marketed our business, we marketed basically our products as to what was available and in season. And so we started putting together packages that represented what can grow around this time of year. And so we found that persons were asking us for like guava in December. I was like, guava in December? No, mango in December. Like really weird stuff they would ask us for, and we're like, no. So we realized that a lot of persons are not aware as to seasonality, and seasonality also has a lot to, as it relates to what can grow within a specific season. So as we're talking about what can grow in a specific season, I want to look at this leaflet. Can you please, everyone grab one? And the reason why I decided to give you one that says fall vegetable garden, because you guys have lots of time to plan and prepare yourself for the fall, which is basically the best growing season here locally in the Bahamas. You get about 6 to 8 months of growing season. So we're going to talk about stuff that can grow during the fall, and it's not limited to this. I can give you guys some more ideas as to what can grow. So let's go to the very bottom where it says what to plant, okay? So just around after the hurricane season, and I think this is why not much stuff grows here during the summer, because June to October, it's hurricane season. So it's best that you try to skip that portion of it unless you are growing root crops, such as yucca or cassava, sweet potatoes, carrots, beets. So anything that grows underground will do very well during hurricane season, because a hurricane cannot disturb underground, crops. Okay, so you would want to grow stuff that grows underground. But when you come out of hurricane season, right around the end of October is the time that you start to put down your seeds. So like around the last week in October, you would start to plant your seeds. Okay, and you can grow anything from arugula, lettuce, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, green beans, radishes, Swiss chard, collard greens, beets, onions, kale, So all of the stuff that you like to buy at the store, you can definitely grow around that time of year because they prefer cooler temperatures. And we call them cooler temperatures because right into November, you go right into winter, and that is the time that you can grow most of your leafy vegetables, very easy to grow, and all of your stuff that is in the broccoli, cauliflower, that family as well, okay? So right around the end of October, you start to plant, and then within 2 to 3 weeks, your seedlings should be mature enough for you to put them in the ground. Okay, but one of the challenges we found when we go to home garden installations, we found soil quality to be a real challenge here. Not much people have good quality soil. Much people are faced with what you call it, limestone. So you would definitely have to make an investment to purchase soil or import soil. Soil would be probably your biggest cost in your backyard garden. Okay, so you would definitely need to get some good quality soil. You can find it at your local garden stores. Most of them carry, soil around $8 to $10 a bag. You may need several bags of that. You may also consider containing your garden if you don't have it contained. You don't want your stuff growing everywhere. However, if you contain them to boxes or raised beds, you would find that you won't have the soil run off. So even when it rains, because it's contained, you will definitely be able to retain all of the soil and the moisture and everything in there. It's also good to add stuff like compost to your soil, which helps to absorb moisture, water as well, and also aids in naturally fertilizing your garden. My husband is an expert at composting. He has a 6-foot compost heap at home. I'm like, what are you doing with this? And listen, he makes the most amazing soil. So even if you don't have a compost bin at home, you can start now. Like every vegetable peel, newspaper clippings, egg shells, everything. Just start with a little bin or a little heap in your backyard, and try to add some green matter and some dry matter to keep away like rats or bugs and stuff out of your heap. And you turn it every couple days. So you take a pitchfork or something and you try to turn it over. You start to create your own soil, which is very important, and for natural organic fertilizer purposes as well. I'll take a break, and if there's any questions, and then I'll continue. Any questions so far? Because I want us to be interactive. We have 45 minutes to talk.
Why do you think there's not any more like Bahamian soil producers? Because I planted some caladiums over maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. They're absolutely beautiful, but in the boxes that I had by the house, the soil was awful. It was like beach sand almost. So we had to dig all of that out and throw that away, and then import, buy these big bags of soil. And I was just thinking that that's a wonderful industry for somebody who, so people who don't, because all of those, like if you go to Modernistic, the Rocky Farms, wherever you go, Ministry of Agriculture, I won't lot of heat, they bring them in by the thousands of bags, and it's like, surely that's something we can do here. Why do you think people aren't interested in an industry like that? Have you worked on any plans with people with that kind of industry?
Actually, we do have one person, and you guys can say the name is called Green System. The lady that owns the company, her name is Ginny McKinney. However, they do not sell soil individually, they only sell by the pallets, so maybe you guys will have to collaborate in buying pallets of soil together. We've found, and we've been using her soil for the last year, in all of our private gardens and all of the gardens that we've installed, we've found the soil to work amazing. She has about 4 components in her soil. So she has manure, I think she uses an organic horse manure. She uses compost, and she also, she recycles all the pallets in the Bahamas, and she turns that into mulch. So there's like 3 or 4 components in the soil. So we found that it retains water very well. So she's one of the only companies in the Bahamas that is making their own soil at this time. So we have found that.
What's the name of the company?
Green Systems.
Green System.
And they are at the Airport Industrial Park. And they do sell stuff like mulch as well. So, and we found that even if on the outside of your boxes, if you really want your garden to retain all of the water and the moisture in your garden, you can also put mulch around the outside of your garden as well.
Excuse me,
Yes, sir.
that soil, they make the soil themselves,
They do.
but that soil doesn't last too long. It's flat, right?
We have been using it all of the gardens that we've installed, like, as I mentioned, we've been using it for 1 year.
Do you have to supply it how often?
We haven't had to replenish any of the gardens that we've done in a year. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with how well your structure on the outside is. What I found is that when persons said they putting in a raised bed, they put the bed on the surface. You would have to dig down at least 2 to 4 inches in the soil itself in order to set your bed in. And that helps to also retain, the soil when it rains, because sometimes we can have heavy downpours. But again, there's stuff that happens when it rains too heavy, the water splashes up the bed. Some things you have absolutely no control over, but in the last year, we haven't had to replenish any soil that we've bought from them.
I see, because I have gotten that kind of soil, and with every season, I will have to replenish it.
I would suggest, even if you purchase the soil, I would suggest that you use like an organic chicken manure or something that you can use as opposed to replenishing the soil, that will kind of help to fertilize your plants, as opposed to having to replenish the soil. Because most seeds or most seedlings only need about 2 inches of soil, which is not very much, in order to grow and be very productive. So 2 inches of soil ain't really much, 2 to 4 inches maximum. If you're growing stuff like carrots and beets and stuff, of course you need about 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches. But if you're growing stuff like tomato plants and stuff, you only need about 2 to 4 inches of soil, so you don't need that much. So even if immediately when you install your garden, you have about 8 inches of soil, if you lose about 4 inches, you can still grow some stuff in 1 year. I'm not saying that they will last forever. However, we haven't had to replenish it in the 1 year that we've been using them consistently.
I started bringing my things in from Home Depot in Miami. And it's very reasonable, and you can bring it on. They have free folders that bring things in every week or every different week.
Yeah, and there's also you have CBS, Bahamas, you have like all of the home gardens that have home and gardens attached to their stores. They have a wide variety of soil and soil types. I only promote Chiccharney Company because it's local, it's Bohemian, we really support Bohemians, and I really found, honestly, when we go back to gardens after 2 weeks installation, sometimes we're blown away by the results that we see. And we know it can only be from the components that is in the soil again. There's already organic manure in the soil, so we find that this soil really, really works. Any other questions with this session before we move on? No questions? Okay. So let's talk about the herbs that you can grow very easily, very, very easily, especially in a few days, we'll have the implementation of a VAT increase, I suggest. And I'm sure that is why most of you are here. Myself and my husband, we have 21 raised beds at home, and we grow all of our food. We very, very rarely go to the food store for food. And of course, we have a produce business, so we barely go to the food store for food. Okay, and we found that whatever we grow in our yard, that is what we eat. We make vegan meals, we make the most amazing tomato sauces, whatever we have an abundance of. We either freeze it or jar it or can it, and we, save it for when it's not around. And one of the most interesting things, today a lady came by our market because I came directly from their hair. She said to me, I felt like myself, she said, I don't go to the food store for anything, and I was really trying to catch you guys for quite some time. I said, well, I'm glad you're here today. And she said, she has a little of everything growing in her yard. Stuff like bananas, cassava, sweet potato, all of that stuff you may not like. It's very easy to grow. It's very cheap to grow because it needs no attention. It doesn't need water. It doesn't need fertilizer. None of that stuff. Papayas, when you buy them from the store, you buy them from any farmer's markets or Bouncy or the Produce Exchange, wherever you buy them from. You can take the seeds and just throw them to the side, and in a couple of days, you'll be surprised. You'll have hundreds of papaya trees just growing. And like stuff like papaya grows very, very easily. Let's talk about herbs like basil, which loves sunlight. 6 hours of sunlight a day, can grow in full sun without any challenges whatsoever. You have dill. A lot of persons have problems growing thyme, but because thyme really likes sunlight, and most persons put them in shade, but they really like being out in the sun. They don't need much. They can grow in rock holes. Anywhere thyme can grow, it doesn't really need much attention. Stuff like rosemary, sage, oregano. 6 hours of sunlight a day and they grow perfect. So even when you talk about starting a garden, I must say positioning your beds is very important. So it's kind of like a house, like drawing a plan, you have to make a plan, you have to write it down. Okay, so I want to grow these products, and you would have to figure out which ones like sun and which ones don't. And if you're growing stuff like cucumbers and you're putting it in a bed, or watermelons, you will always want to put those items on the outside, near the outside of the bed, so that the vines can grow out of the bed. Or perhaps make a trellis. You can make trellises from wood, fencing, anything around the yard. You know, so it really takes strategic planning, and a lot of attention goes into gardening. I must say, we spend hours either weeding, pruning, fertilizing. If we're using organic fertilizer, we find stuff like chicken manure you can use maybe twice a month, and it really, the stuff will grow because chicken manure kind of sits on the surface and it absorbs water very well. So you don't need to use much of that. We don't really use synthetic fertilizers. We try to use as much natural stuff as possible, and I'm sure that we all have been having conversations about eating natural and using natural stuff. So we try to use, even down to our insecticide, we use organic stuff like neem oil, joy and water, which is very, you have joy, everybody have joy in their house. You can, even if you have a neem tree at home, I find that you can steep neem leaves and use it to spray around your garden as well. Sea salt for snails, to keep the snails out of your garden. Snails really don't like sea salt on their tummy. Bear, so not only can you drink bear, you can also use bear as an insecticide for snails. You can put it in a little cup and it will actually trap the snails in there. Because a lot of persons complain about snails getting in their gardens. We found something that is like everywhere along the beach is seaweed. Seaweed for fertilizer is amazing. You can go to the beach, pick it up, wash it out properly, let it dry out, and put it in your garden as an organic fertilizer as well. That will help as well as a fertilizer for your garden. People say, oh, I don't have no space in my yard. You have lots of space. 4 by 6, some stuff grow vertical. The vines you would put near the end. As I mentioned, like if you're growing cucumbers, you would kind of put cucumbers near the end. Once they are up and running, the vines would run outside. If you're growing pumpkin, the exact same thing. If you're growing watermelons, the exact same thing. Then stuff like your herbs, you would want to put like scallions and maybe basil and maybe mint. I usually put them in the corners because those kinds of stuff kind of get bushy. And so you would want to put those in the corners. If you're growing tomatoes, you only need about 2 tomato plants. 2 tomato plants will give you about 40 tomatoes. So 2 tomato plants will give you about 40 tomatoes. Here's why. Tomatoes like to be standing up. So if you if you kind of use a trellis or I forget they call them the cages, the tomato cages, you would find that they would keep crawling in that cage, and all of the fruit, which will help with them maximizing their productivity. So you need 2 tomato plants, 2 sweet pepper plants, and you're on your way.
When you said that you dig down 2 to 4 inches, 6 inches, would you put the wood frame down into that
Yes.
and then up above the surface?
Yes. So if you're going to start with a garden, I would say go with a 2 by 8. A 2 by 8 is good to start. And a 2 by 8, one piece of 2 by 8, 10 foot is probably $8 to $9 at a hardware store. Okay? And so you would bury at least about 2 to 3 inches of that in the ground, and then you have 5 inches on top to work with. You usually only need 4 inches. Remember I talked about how much soil you need in order to grow stuff. So you would only need to work with about 4 inches above the soil.
And where's the best place to get seeds from?
Okay, so let's talk about seeds. Seed quality we found to be very, very challenging here locally. I would say you may have to do some research online to find companies that sell seeds. So seed companies for tons will come up. And you can order online, and they would be happy to ship to you. We talked about freight forwarders earlier. And I think seeds are duty free.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I think seeds are duty free.
Right, you're right.
So seeds you can definitely bring in duty free. And I found that when you go to the store and you get those little packages, most of them are expired, so please check your dates very, very carefully. Some of them expired like 2 years ago, and they still have them on the shelf. They're not going to germinate, and that's why people have very low success with seed germination. I would also say check a lot of the gardening stores when we grow seedlings. We usually get some in abundance. However, what's up at Chiccharney Farms is a real good seedling supply. When we run short and we need to get seedlings, we always go to them. Rocky Farms or Fossil Nursery, they're pretty good. Their quality we found to grow and produce with their seedlings. So even if it's an advantage if you can buy seedlings as opposed to if your hands are really good and you have the patience to watch them grow from seed, I mean that's awesome, but if you don't, you can definitely start with seedlings. And most of the seedlings you'll find are about maybe 2 or 3 weeks in. It gives you a jump start on the season, so I would say those suppliers you should look at if you want to jump start your season and be winning at least 3 weeks ahead. Because if you can buy seedlings that are 3 weeks old, and if at 3 weeks you're just starting your seeds, then you would be 3 weeks behind. So if you can definitely find seedlings, then I would suggest buy the seedlings. It's about 50 cents, somewhere around 50 cents mostly for a seedling.
Rocky Farm, Wholesale,
Those are 2 of the most reliable ones that I know here. From time to time we have them, but they grow so much. I mean, you have to find them either at a market and we don't have them in a large supply. Yeah. We're not really in the seedling business.
You can keep your seeds in the door of the fridge, with plastic bags and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they last a long time.
It will last a long time. Seeds have to be kept cool. Don't put them in a cupboard once they're bought. You should put them in the fridge. Yeah. In the fridge, in a plastic bag. Yeah, in the dog fridge. Any questions?
I have a question. I put some bok choy and mint together. I don't know. I see it says 4 hours of sun. We have more than 4 hours of mint. But the bok choy, it has like red bulbs eating it. So I don't know. It's doing really well.
How mature is it? That's the question. Is it young or is it? What's up? Is it now in your garden? Because the time for bok choy is more of a winter. Yeah. More of a
What
winter.
did she say about her bok choy? What's the problem?
It has bulbs that are eating it. And maybe it's exposed in the sun. Too much in the sun. Maybe.
You can spray it with the same name. But the sun is good for your plants.
But I have the mint and the bok choy, but I find that she says the mint is like, whoa, spreading everywhere. Yeah, you know.
The root of bok choy by themselves. I always thought about a bok choy.
But I find it do better in the winter, not so much in summer. I find that the leaves get very hard. The texture is much different in the summer than in the winter. We have bok choy in the farm now, and I can tell you the quality is not good. The leaves have a tendency to turn into greenish yellow very quickly. When they cut, they turn yellow very quickly, but I find they do well in the winter. So anytime from October to March, April, they do pretty good. Outside of that, I don't find bok choy to do very well. Only some Asian greens do well. Bok choy is an Asian green. There's some greens like the Basuna lettuce. It's a spicy Asian green. They grow all summer. They thrive in summer. Collard greens thrive in the summer. Those are 2 that I know thrive during the summer with no problems at all. No insects, no nothing. But when summer, you find if you grow kale, it'll be attacked by spiders, aphids. Definitely stuff like lettuce don't do well at all, especially if they're outdoor in an open backyard or unless you have a greenhouse or something, they don't do very well. But if they're being attacked, I would say cut them and saute them.
Small amount.
Before the bugs eat all the I don't even have a blade.
And also, what about peppers? Peppers is highly priced.
Hot peppers or sweet green
Hot
peppers?
peppers.
They're popular now.
Yeah.
I see guys all along the road with $35 bags and stuff, so they must be in.
Oh, they are, yeah. Hot peppers are around now, and I think we usually plant them around. We planted our whole peppers around January or February.
What about the
Bird peppers, hot peppers. Bird peppers, there's something behind bird peppers. Like, you cannot buy a bird pepper seed. I've never been able to buy a bird pepper seed. A bird pepper, those very, very small ones.
Yeah, not that many, bigger size ones.
Now, the hot peppers you can buy, but bird peppers, there's something behind the reason why they name bird peppers is because they come from bird droppings.
Serious? Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy a hot pepper, which is a stream similar to the bird pepper, but you will never find a bird pepper seed.
But
And they don't grow from seed, they only grow from the droppings of bird.
but they never have,
Wow.
there's no expectation.
I think older than me. I mean, I'm sorry.
You live and you learn.
You would find hot peppers in some streets of hot peppers, but you won't find bird peppers.
That's a very beloved pepper.
Yes. And so if you get a tree, listen, listen, you better be grateful you have one of those trees in your
Wow.
backyard. They have a flavor, an
There are no
amazing
other
flavor.
peppers as spreadable as that. You know where they grow a lot is in people's farms and in Eleuthera. Because I grew up in Eleuthera and my dad's farm always had lots of bird pepper trees. He never planted them, like you
Yeah.
say.
People random, just like them cherry tomatoes, you'll ever see them random cherry tomatoes, okay. No one planted them, okay, so animals planted those, and it's the same with the bird peppers. Yeah.
Everybody have their purpose.
Yeah.
Very, very small ones.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
And I think we had a tree for about maybe 2 years maximum. I haven't seen one of those trees in at least 20 years.
And you never tried to plant them from the pepper itself?
They cannot grow from the pepper itself. They have to drop. They don't grow from the pepper itself.
That's what we have, you thought, my God, in the yard.
Mhm.
What about those? I remember as a kid, they said it used to my auntie always had farms, and I can remember. They're so scared.
Let me tell you that I always tell my clients, rats, especially, they don't like nothing that is fresh. Anything rotten, you will see rats. You know, around my garden, I have no problems with rats.
Okay.
Okay, none whatsoever. We have a compost heap, and when we learn that you need to mix the green with the dry stuff, no rats. He has a 6-foot compost heap, no rats. I mean, a neighborhood that has rats. Rats only like stuff where stuff is rotting. So I would suggest to try to keep your area, your garden area, very clean. You know, I mean, and then there's stuff that if it gets really bad, or if you're in an area that is bad, then you have to take some measures, because they will eat your stuff. They will eat your stuff without even asking. They'll just come in, and you will wake up, and they will eat your stuff. Okay, but rats only are attracted to dead stuff. Stuff that is decaying or decomposing. That's the stuff that they like.
Do you grow watermelon yourself?
Yes, sir.
How do you grow your watermelon? What do you do? Different from putting the seeds in the ground.
That was just pleasant when we planted seeds.
Because I can never grow watermelon and muskmelon and stuff like that.
It's probably the time. We started our watermelon right around April, March, end of March, early April is a good time that you can plant watermelons. Watermelons grow all summer as well, because they are a 3-month crop. Okay? So watermelons take 12 weeks before they are fully formed and ready to eat. We usually start planting our melons right around the end of March, April, and that can go into May, June, July. Because usually, I'm sure when you were a child, you always saw watermelons during the summer months. Yeah. So I always backtrack. Okay, so we were eating watermelons in July. That means they had to plant June, May, end of April in order for you to have watermelons in July, because they usually take 12 weeks, so a 3-month crop.
Do you put the up on a hill, a little small hill or something, or just on the level?
We just put them on a level. I have not seen my grandfather mound up watermelons ever. We just plant seeds directly into the soil, so you don't have to put them in those seed trays or anything.
Anything to do with the moon?
Boy, listen to me. I know lots of farmers that plant by the moon. Lots of farmers, they say the crop is bigger, it's better. Honestly, I have never planted by the moon. But my grandfather, well, he still does all the planting. He swears by planting by the moon. And so I have been paying attention to the moon recently. I have been paying attention and saying to my husband, well, maybe there's going to be a full moon, we need to plant this. And so farmers swear by it. You can download the Farmer's Almanac online. You don't even have to pay a dollar for it. It's there and it tells you what are the best planting days, what should be planted and how deep to plant it with seeds. Even it gives you suggestions for where to buy your seeds.
Man, I had all those books and I threw them away.
No, but you can get it. You can download it online now. They even have an app. They even have an app for the Farmers Almanac. So you can't go wrong. It'll pop up and say, okay, plant this today, or don't plant on this day, so whatever. These are the best days.
So when do you plant your watermelon?
We planted about 6 weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
6 weeks.
6 weeks ago. We like 6 weeks in, right? 6 weeks ago. Because we have 6 more weeks. We waited on this watermelon crop. That's our final crop for the season. And then we take a break for the summer. So we just waited on this watermelon crop like this. And I must tell you, it's been so much rain. I've been afraid that we may lose this crop. It's been so much rain. So we were just keeping our fingers crossed that, they would be able to get big enough for the flowers to come out, for the bees to pollinate. Hopefully it's not too much rain, because if it's too much rain, it's never good for anything. I must tell you.
Especially watermelons.
And while we're on rain, if you're going to be doing a garden, catch some rainwater. Very important.
It does.
Catch some rainwater. Because the rainwater has so much nitrogen in it that it helps the growth of the plant. Yes, it helps the plant with its growth. You'll be amazed if you add rainwater to your garden, how amazing your stuff will look, how quickly it will grow. So don't let that rainwater just roll off your roof. Please catch some rainwater.
I guess it's a mark where you got the water, it's so clean and so fresh.
I catch it to drink. I catch it to make soap. I catch it for my garden. Yes. We drink rainwater. Well, I let it run off the roof for a while, and then
You can boil it, you can drink rainwater.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Very good. My grandparents grew up catching rainwater. I went to Cat Island recently. They still have, these people have their 50-gallon drums right outside their door for when it rains. They're ready, okay, with the cloth covering it. They're ready for when the rain comes. They go catch their rainwater. Listen, rainwater makes your skin feel so much better. Yeah. So do catch some rainwater for your gardens. Very important.
So when can you do the peppers? That's what I-
Peppers are basically gone here until the fall.
Yeah, if you have mature pepper plants, you can put them down, but they might not produce much peppers because of the heat. They usually start growing from the spring, and then the fall is the summer is the peak time of kind of ramp it up
Yeah.
and produce. Because any plant fruits or anything besides watermelon and cantaloupe and muskmelon, they're not able to produce the flowers on it because of the heat. They won't produce any fruit. So that's why you can't get flowers and other crops during the heat of the summer.
But I think October too, peppers right? October she can start.
Depending on how
But they don't ripen up until-
depending on how the weather is.
They take long. They like peppers are like
Takes quite a while.
4 to 6 months. They take long.
That's why they're so expensive.
Peppers take long. That's why they are expensive.
You know anyone need any coconut trees?
Not off the top of my
It's
head.
free, it's free.
Not off the top of my head. What type of coconut trees are they?
All kind.
They're the little yellow one. Because see, the reason why I asked is because
The old one, all, they walk on them like that. But there was a coconut trees, I wouldn't get rid of. You can come and just get them and take them.
if they're the little ones, then I would be interested in some because I found that these are very, very tall ones. What has been happening is the coconut palms have been having a disease called leaf yellowing. And so the leaves have been turning very yellow. And then the coconut trees produce very slowly and then the heads dry up when they die.
These would have been 4, 5, or 6 foot high, they can take them in the background.
So I think those ones could survive. No, what I'm saying is when they mature, we've been having a challenge with coconut trees in the country. So they have been only allowing certain strains. We're not responsible. These people, these landscape companies bringing all these stuff from all over the world. They've been, some of the responsibility has to be on them. They've been bringing in stuff that has been affecting our stuff locally. So they have a lethal yellowing disease with the coconut trees. So I'd be kind of careful, but if they are I haven't seen the challenge with the gold ones. So if you have the gold ones, I'll take some.
It grows a cherry.
What type? You mean the red ones?
Yeah, the red one.
Oh, not from a cutting. I haven't grown it from a cutting. Just from the seeds.
You see it?
Yeah.
This is
If you have a cherry tree, yeah, they drop, the
The
seeds
Bahamian
usually
cherries.
drop under the tree. But I've never planted them. I know if the trees drop and I picked up plants and planted, I've never like planted seeds for a cherry tree. I know I've gone under people's cherry tree and said, oh, they got some baby plants in here, I can get a few. And I took plants and I transplanted them and they've grown. Because we have a few growing at home. Yeah. And they produce twice a year. This lady may have some under you. So we talked about soil, we talked about seed. Let's talk about, we did talk a little bit about watering. We talked about rainwater, but we didn't talk about watering, the importance of watering your garden. Listen, just like if you don't get water, you're gonna be dehydrated and thirsty. The same with your garden. Your garden has to be watered. The most delicate time for watering your garden, I would say, is either in seed or seedling stage. They definitely need to be watered a minimum twice a day, morning and evening. First thing in the morning before the sun comes out blazing hot, and in the evening when it gets cooler in the evening. Watering your plant or your seedlings in the middle of the day will cause bugs to be attracted to your plant. Okay? Yeah, they are attracted because it causes the plant to become very sluggish and dreary as well. So watering first thing in the morning or late in the evening is the best time to water your plant. And the younger your seeds or your seedlings are, the more water they need. So water. 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 Well, I water for 2 days. Well, if it rains, then you don't need to water. Yeah. If it rains, you don't need to water. Yeah. And if it's a heavy downpour, sometimes you could wait until the soil is fully draining before you water again, which means that you can just take your finger, poke in the soil, and if it's still very moist, you don't need to water. But if you poke your finger in the soil and you can't get the soil to be dry, you need to water.